Hi guys, welcome back. So, a bit of a fun one today. We're going to be trying the green skies strategy. So, a shout out to Ryder in the Discord. He mentioned this a couple of days ago. It piqued my interest, and so it's also worth a watch. This video as well. He recommended by the good captain. It's not specifically related to 1942 online. It's not quite the same version, but it's got the same principles basically. And this strategy in itself, I think, is fairly. I'm sure we've all dabbled with it at some point. It is good fun, just going for mass bombers with the US. But yes, we're going to be trying that today. It's a bit of fun, see if we can get a win. And also in this video, I'll be showing one of the most perfect rounds of combat I've ever seen in this game. In all the time I've been playing it, it was absolutely perfect. So this video won't be an instructional guide on the strategy. I've not optimized it. I've not, seen if it actually has been optimized already by other people. I've just literally just jumped on and just gone for mass bombers with USA, basically. So it's not going to be an instructional round by round guide. It's more just going to be a bit of a showcase of the of the fun you can have with it. Basically, it is a good fun. It's on the same kind of bracket as I'd say the sea line is, in terms of just bit goofy. It's good fun, and for your opponent, it's very frustrating. So yeah, it's a nice one to have in the arsenal if you want to have a bit of fun for a particular game. But anyway, let's jump in. So I will point out to begin with, this game itself was made a lot easier by my opponent's mistakes, both positionally and also purchase-wise. He made some big errors. You can see here he went for a double. Well, he went for a fleet in the Baltic, basically. We had a good Brisha 1, and he also had a pretty rough Germany 1. Didn't build enough infantry. He went for obviously the fleet. And didn't defend it well enough, which is why we were able on UK 1 to attack it because we had a battleship left. Obviously we've got all the aircraft in Britain, and he didn't leave it with enough, because I think the idea, if you're going to go for a sea line, which is what I think he did, you have to attack the fleet by Scotland to make it at least half viable. It's still not a good strategy, but you have to at least to take the fleet out first. He didn't do that, and obviously it enabled me then to just to hit him really hard. So fairly good wins then, and we also managed to kill his pretty much all of his land units in Africa as well on round 1, which is pretty good for us. So it was a strong start. Killed his sub. The good thing about this is that him taking out the American fleet, this really doesn't matter to me, because we're not going to be using fleet at all with the US this game, so that's fine. Huge losses on UK 1 for Germany there, which is great for us. So jumping into the purchases for US 1, here we go, 3 bombers. The IPC for USA basically means they can always afford 3 bombers per round, because their home nation is, they've got enough in their starting area to afford that. Again, some bad positional play from my opponent in Germany too, leaving a big stack of tanks in Ukraine. So they were vulnerable to the attack, which I do go for. Decent hits, but some very strong return fire. So yeah, I was hoping to get away with it. Not as many casualties as I did here, but it was fine. Overall, we took more. We're just going to strafe it. We're not going to actually capture it, because I don't want to give them an opportunity to counter-attack and take out my tanks. But again, the front line against Russia here is very strong, given the fact his purchases are wrong, and also he's not positioning his troops very well. But the first bombing raids against Germany, it's a nice 10 hit there from the UK troops. Always good to see. And obviously we went for our first bomb with the American bomber as well in round 2. Again, successful, and 4 more points of damage into the complex. So now it's definitely need a repair after round 2, which is good. So by the end of round 2, we're going to have 4 US bombers in the UK and 3 UK bombers. We're also moving everything we can aircraft wise towards Europe. My intention with the fleet in the Pacific, because he obviously didn't go for that, was just to kind of harass and cause some problems for the Japanese if possible. Now this was the huge misplay. He moved his entire Mediterranean fleet to Sea Zone 13, and it was in range of the battleship, cruiser, destroyer, and all my aircraft, including my bombers. Not in green. I think no, that's Iceland. Sorry, the fighter in Iceland couldn't reach, but still, the odds for obviously for me to win that battle in season 13 fairly comfortably. So I think he just didn't properly check what I had available to attack him with. So that's a huge gift for me as the UK player, having his fleet in one place with obviously 2 planes on it as well. If I destroy that, he's only got 2 planes left, a fighter and a bomber in Berlin. So being able to hit that it's hugely advantageous to me in this particular game as well. Obviously, if he's going for fleet when I'm going for a bombing strategy, it gives Russia all the the land presence in the world. Plus the bad positioning means Russia's going to have a really easy time. You can see obviously here as well Karelia. He's left Karelia too weak to defend against West Russia. So I will be attacking the Ukraine and Karelia this round. Also next round, as the Russians to try and completely break the German front line. But here we go, the battle. 8 hits, and the German defenders have 8 hit points, so it was absolutely perfect. No return fire from the destroyer and the carrier, and 1 shot from the battleships and fighters, which went on my battleship. So 89 IPC lost for nothing. Absolutely insane. I think for me it's one of the best battles I've ever seen in this game. It was so satisfying. I couldn't believe it. I think it was even better that he scored 1 hit that didn't even land because it went on the battleship's health, which is just fantastic. It's like the ultimate battle. So that left me very happy, smiling, and quite chuffed. So you can see now obviously that Germany's attack power is virtually non-existent. He's lost a lot of tanks, particularly after Russia's round 4 as well. He'll have lost a lot. So yeah, you can see here as well the summary. It's looking fairly rough for Germany. Obviously the UK's got the fleet up now with complete control of the Atlantic, and Germany is lacking a lot of infantry. They should have had way more numbers by this point. So yeah, looking very strong. So jumping into round 3 for the US, obviously 4 bombers coming in now, which is nice, and again hitting the complex. What's worth mentioning as well, if I wasn't controlling Italy, I could be hitting Italy as well, because they're both 3 spaces away from the UK for the bomber. So the bombers can both hit Berlin and Italy, and then also if you're hopefully controlling Karelia, then the only complexes that Germany can deploy to will be bombed to hell. So it does drain, even if the Germans have got a decent economy, obviously it does take away a lot of IPC having to deal with the repairs. So we lost the bomber, but a few nice hits. Again, the fact that he obviously started off by making fleet, which is now all dead, means the 3 rounds of infantry that he should have had on the board are non-existent. So yeah, his land presence is now completely, it's virtually dead, and will be completely dead pretty much after this Russia turn. So we're obviously trying to clear up the last of the front line here. We're going to take Karelia, take the Ukraine, and then Russia will be in a pretty unbeatable position. Good rolls in the Ukraine, no damage. So this is just a lesson really, just to make sure that you double check when you're moving big stacks of units, or even smaller stacks. Just make sure if you want to hold the territory, you have to make sure that you've got the odds to hold it. And that's when a battle calculator can come in real useful. To make sure you're giving yourself enough of a chance, because I forget the odds for this particular battle, but it was very much stacked against him, so I was always going to commit to this and just throw all available troops at it and make sure I took him out of Karelia. So that's pretty much the last of his front line. There we go, the final battle. So at this point, he resigned. I think this was probably a fair move, given the situation on the board. So we had a total of 10 bombers as the US, and we had 3 bombers, I believe, yeah, as the UK. Complete Atlantic control, and also Russia was now pretty much free to move through Europe towards Berlin. Yeah, so by round 4, it was over. I think it was, obviously we had a hugely fortunate battle in Zone 13, but the bombers did help enormously, particularly with his purchases, because obviously he was going for the fleet, and also he was buying aircraft when he should have been really buying pure infantry. So obviously me bombing the hell out of his complexes just meant he had that that little that much less IPC to spend on units. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think we got some very lucky rolls in this game, but it was very fun. So you can see by round 4, Germany's attack power is 17 compared to Russia's 47. Still a decent national production, but that national production of 34 is much less in reality, because they have to keep repairing their complexes. But there we go. That's the game. It was a lot of fun, I have to say. It was great fun. Although I do think it might be worth trying again with possibly a stronger opponent, because obviously the purchase and the game itself wasn't that high a level. I think it would be fun to find out how it works against a more competent player. So it's something I may revisit a few times. It's like the Sea Lion. I feel like doing it, every now and then, just for a bit of fun, because it is a lot of fun. And I can imagine that the frustration on the other side as they constantly lose their complexes. So I think it's worth exploring more. But there we go. That's the green sky strategy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.